afternoon, good evening, good morning. Next Thursday, the 12th of February, there's going to be a debate on Nelson Chamisa's comeback, return to the political arena. And Bulwer 24 has called it an explosive debate on Chamisa's return to active politics. Well, if the truth be said, and it must be said, Chamisa should be really irrelevant because there is a mountain of evidence to prove that he is corrupt, incompetent, a liar, and a conman. The people of Zimbabwe should have rejected Chamisa a long time ago. So why is he still relevant? I'll tell you why. Chamisa still commands millions of followers. The so-called Chamisa chete brigade. These are individuals to whom that mountain of evidence, being corrupt, incompetent, etc., means nothing. They don't understand it. So it means nothing to them. So they continue to follow him. The last 3 years, I have engaged some of those Chamisa chete brigade members on the one issue. Did Chamisa lie when he said he plugged the vote-rigging loopholes? This is a clear statement, a simple statement in many respects. That should be easy to prove. Did he say it? Yes, he did. They cannot deny it. He even evoked the name of God. And I have often played this video clip of him stating that very point, that he was going to win the 2023 elections.
Makorokoto Zimbabwe nokuti hakuna munhu anomira kana denga raronga plan. Denga raronga plan, denga harifoiri. Plan yaMwari haifoiri. Ini ndatanga kugadzira cabinet. There is no way we are not going to form a new cabinet. There is no way we are not going to have a celebration. There is no way we are not going to have an inauguration. Let's start preparing for our inauguration. Let's start preparing for our celebration.
Simple question to these followers was, did he lie? Some of them have denied that he lied, point blank. Others have said, yeah, he has lied, so what? Clearly, a sign they don't want to accept it. But more significantly, you try to engage them and say, okay, what are the consequences of that lie? The consequences are that 2 million Zimbabweans believed that lie and participated in the 2023 elections on the basis of that lie. And by participating, they gave ZANU-PF, vote rigging ZANU-PF, legitimacy. That should not be rocket science. This is a situation where you cannot have it both ways. If you participate in the elections, then you lose. You have got to accept the results. You cannot expect SADC should have stepped in and denied ZANU-PF legitimacy. How can they? Why did you participate? But explaining that to some of these Chamisa chete brigade members has been, let's say, difficult. So you end up with a situation where they don't accept that he lied. Although they, like everybody else, are suffering the consequences of the ZANU-PF dictatorship continuing, they've taken it all very lightly. It's just water off a duck's back. This is the reality. This is the reality of those 2 million or so Chamisa chete brigade members. So when Chamisa, at the end of the 2023 elections, realized the mess he had made, because he lied, conned people to participate in the flawed elections with the consequences that I've just said. And one of the other lies he made was this issue of strategic ambiguity in the organization of CCC. Anyone who understands what was going on there will tell you Kutsalangu was only able to wrestle CCC from him because of that strategic ambiguity. CCC had no structures, had no constitution, had no elected officials. So he declared himself to be the Secretary General. And no one could prove otherwise. And Chamisa left the party in a huff because he realized the utter, complete mess he had made. And for the last 2 years, he must have been thinking he'll be held to account for many of those problems he created. He must have been pleasantly surprised that it was again water off the duck's back. Nobody seemed to even notice it. And so his announcement that he's coming back to active politics must have been as a result of him realizing that no one was holding him to account, that he could step back on the political dancing floor and be the leader of his Chamisa chete brigade. Millions of them. That is the reality. Chamisa is only relevant because he still has millions of brain dead followers. It's hard to find any other word for it. These individuals, they just can't listen to reason. Period. That is the truth. So what we are going to have here, now that Chamisa is back, I can rest assure you that Chamisa's intention would be to con his followers to participate in 2028 elections, knowing fully well that no meaningful reforms have been implemented. That is his intention. He's just taking advantage of the fact that he has got millions of followers who believe him to be a demigod, who can do no wrong. Even if you present them with all the evidence of his lying, they'll still shrug their shoulders as if it's nothing. That is what we are talking about here. One of the tragedies of Zimbabwe, the curse, if you want, is universal suffrage. We are a country that has got a very large population of individuals who really do not understand the issues before them, and therefore then, strictly speaking, should not have the right to vote. If you don't understand the issues, what would you be voting? And yet, we have universal suffrage. Yes, other African countries have independence and that universal suffrage from the word go. And it has seemed to work. Notably, South Africa, Botswana, to name but a few. I think what one has got to appreciate is that in a country like South Africa, the leaders genuinely believed in giving the people a meaningful say in the governance of the country. The same cannot be said of Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF had never intended to have a meaningful vote, to give meaningful vote to all Zimbabweans. It saw the rural voters as voters that can be influenced, that can be bought, that can be threatened, and secure those votes for itself. That is the reality. And unfortunately, the MDC leadership has come onto the political stage with the same mentality. Neither ZANU-PF nor MDC had ever intended to educate the voters. They have all sought to exploit the weakness of the voters, that they are ignorant, naive, and are easily conned to do whatever the politicians tell them to do. And now we have got a pool of voters, nearly 2 million of the Chamisa Chete brigade members, who will do whatever Chamisa tells them to do. And Chamisa is coming back to active politics because he realizes that he has got a pool of voters who follow him no matter what. This should not be really an explosive debate if one understands that this is nothing to do with Chamisa, but more to do with the Chamisa Chete brigade members. And Chamisa is going to con them to participate in 2028 with the same consequences as in 2023. The only way to stop that happening is making sure that the Chamisa Chete brigade members are educated to see Chamisa for who he is, a corrupt, incompetent, a liar, and a conman. If they could see that, they would not participate in the flawed elections. But most of the individuals in this so-called explosive fight with Chamisa, they are not there to educate the electorate. They are there to wrestle Chamisa for control of that large pool of gullible voters. Some of those people actively involved in this debate have been with Chamisa in the trenches. They've never educated the electorate. They've exploited the voters the same way Chamisa has exploited the voters. They are fighting for control of this ignorant electorate. They're not fighting to educate them. That is the subtle difference. Think about it. Have a good day.